Oh my goodness. Today we got Haileys Comet. How are you today, Miss Haileys Comet?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to be back podcasting. It's been like a 2 week break. I usually don't take any breaks at all. I don't know. There's something wrong with me. I just love podcasting all the time.
Becomes like a full-time job when you like what you do, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. I mean, that's the real American way, isn't it? Just do what you want for work.
Throw yourself into it.
Absolutely. Would you say that's what you do? You do what you please for work?
I definitely would agree. I love talking with people and getting to meet new people, and I am not very outgoing in person. Like
No.
big social settings, no, but like online, it's like, yeah, let's make tons of friends.
So you're like socially awkward in real life.
Yeah, just a little bit, little social anxiety.
That's okay though. I think a lot of people actually have that. I know for sure that I have social anxiety when I'm out in public. Like somebody will say something to me and I'll just be like, "Oh, what did you say?" Because I'm like freaking out on the inside already. You know what I mean?
Right? Someone's talking to me, head down, run.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But with a little bit of liquor courage, I might, open up a little bit.
See, I don't drink enough for that.
That's good. That's good. So, are you like on a whole health kick these days, or have you never been a drinker?
I've just never been much of a drinker. I don't know. It's the same thing with like smoking. It just seems like kind of like money down the drain just to consume something that leaves you feeling crappy later.
No, that's some real shit right there, though. Like, why do we put certain things in our body that make us feel like shit the next day?
Right? That's where I never understood people that did drugs either. I'm just like, it seems like such a waste of money. I could have a really nice handbag for that instead.
Oh, damn. Okay. Shout out to the fly ass handbags in the world. What's your favorite handbag?
Right? Right now it's probably my Michael Kors bag. It's just so
Oh,
compact and little and cute and goes with everything.
what's a dream handbag for Haley's Comet?
Ooh, a dream one. There's an Yves Saint Laurent one that I really like, but totally not justifiable.
What's the price point on the East Saint Laurent prize bag? Or
Usually around 1500.
oh, okay,
About the
1500.
price of a used car like a couple years ago.
Like, would you feel bad though, like sporting a $1,500 handbag when like there's people that don't have a car?
I guess it would depend. Did I pay for it or was it a gift?
Right.
Gifts,
So
no problem. I can wear that around anywhere. But when you have to pay for it yourself, I'm just like, oh, that's so many other things that I could have put money towards.
right. So you like to receive gifts?
It's definitely one of my love languages. I like to
Ah,
receive
love.
and give gifts.
What is it about that? Like you like the reaction other people get?
I think it's the thought. I think it's the thought that somebody puts into of actually showing you some appreciation. Um, and even like just the thought of like what they actually give you. Or it's like the little surprise, like you don't even have to ask and someone just sends you something like out of the blue and it's just like, oh, that is the sweetest, most like genuine, thoughtful thing you could have done for somebody. Like make my day.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like the thoughtful things in life. I mean, there's not enough of that going on. So shout out to all of the
Right?
fellas hitting up the ladies' Amazon wish lists and stuff like that. Do you have an Amazon wish list?
I do. I don't really post it too openly. I've had some weirdos. Sorry, my cat just fell.
Oh, we already knew the cat was gonna cause some mayhem.
Whoever
Low
said
key.
cats land on their feet have not met Moo.
Man, but like honestly, like like I've accidentally dropped my cat and I've only seen my cat land on his feet. I'm like, that's kind of weird.
My one cat is so agile, you could drop her from like anywhere and she'll land on her feet. Like she's jumped from like I live in a three-story home, so she was on the deck on like the third floor and jumps into the stairwell of the second floor and just like lands it gracefully, moves along, and then the other one she falls like this far and is just like poof.
Yeah, yeah. What is it about cats that you think like makes you like them? What connects you to cats?
I think it's the similarities.
Tell me.
There's just so much attitude. It's like they want to be touched when they want to be touched, and it's like the rest of the time just kind of like leave them be.
Mhm.
And I'm very much the same. Like I can be very I'm into a lot of stuff. I'm busy, I'm focused, but it's like when I want attention, like I'm very needy about it, like cats are,
Very similar, huh?
right? It's like they'll just like make it very known that they need your attention. They need it right then. And it's like, yep, that's me.
So I have a female cat and a boy cat, right? And the female cat, she's very vocal and she will like meow up a storm until you give her attention. And then when you go to
Oh,
give her attention, she straight up like acts like she doesn't want the attention no more. And I'm like, I feel like that's the perfect cat for like, most people who don't want to be touched or messed with. They're like, yeah, give me
right.
attention. Wait, never mind. I don't want attention. I'm like, okay, toxic ass cat. I got
It's
you.
more like you didn't even realize what I was saying with my meows, Dad.
I know. And she's like, actually, I was saying more food. You know,
Right? Get
I
that food
cats
dish
are great.
filled.
I got some of the greediest cats of all time.
That's how I feel over here too. Violet never stops eating. Like if you're eating a donut, she'll climb you to steal a bite. She's a weirdo.
Oh my goodness, that's
And as
amazing.
it is, the other one is I'm gonna have to get her down really quick because she's about to
Do
kill
your thing.
herself. One
Do your
sec.
thing.
Sorry.
Everybody,
First,
we all are so used to the guests of this podcast having cats that just cause mayhem.
it's like
It's
she knows I'm busy.
I know that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like they know when they're being little like pricks. They're like, "Oh, I got you. You want to be busy right now? No
Right?
fucking
How dare
problem."
you not give me attention?
Goodness gracious, that's crazy. So Haileys Comet. Tell me about that name. How did you get that name?
So I'm Haley, and I had a few people kind of comment as I first started about how I was out of this world. And I don't know, it kind of stuck with me. I like astronomy, I like astrology. Basically, there's just the night sky I just love. So I'm just kind of like, okay, well, let's make this easy and fun. And I'm just going to use a play off my name, and it's going to be Haley's Comet. It's once in a lifetime experience right here.
Yeah, that's great. That's great right there. Did you watch the movie Don't Look Up?
No, I was told it was really scary, so that I shouldn't watch it.
It is kind of scary actually, and it really does make you think and wonder, like, why is it that they don't want people to look up? Because they actually say that in real life too, for some reason. So it's like, wait a minute, what don't you want us to look up at? But in that movie, it was about a comet that was coming to pretty much erase mankind.
Oh, geez. Now I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna blame
So,
you for my nightmares.
so I just gave you a new pun when it comes to the Giantess work. Whenever you do the Giantess work, you could say the comet's coming for you, and I'm gonna erase mankind.
And don't look up.
And don't look up. Oh shit. That's fucking amazing. Shall we get into the first foot marshal?
Hmm?
Shall we get into our first foot marshal here? Everybody smash the like button. We got Haileys Comet on right now. She's an awesome person. Great energy. We don't mess with her. The comet will come down and erase mankind. You know? Like I said, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And this podcast is also available on Apple, Spotify. Oh, I got some news actually I want to share with everybody right here on the podcast as soon as we come back. And if you are looking to sponsor this podcast, holler at your boy because your sponsor could be right here. Yeah. Boom. Wow. That was fresh. Did I catch you off guard with the foot marshal?
Pardon me. A little bit.
My bad. My bad.
That's okay.
I guess I didn't explain that part right there. Yeah. So like I have these things called foot commercials on this podcast. They're kind of a hit, I guess. I don't know.
I
The
caught
fans.
on. I hope I did okay.
You did just fine. Like when I said it, you were like, huh? And I was like, oh shit. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah,
Hey,
see, I watched a few of your podcasts and I did enjoy them, but unfortunately, it seems like every time I tried to watch one, my YouTube would crap out. I need to find better methods of watching it. Certain ones it wouldn't even let me watch. It was like this may contain adult content. Is that okay? And I'd press okay and it would just go black. And I'm like,
right, right.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they put those restrictions on some of the episodes. For some reason, they do that. Some episodes they
Really?
don't. Some, yeah, but I mean, there's no, nudity or nothing like that. So I
What are you
really,
talking about? Lucrative feet.
I know, right? But like, how is that considered nudity in any kind of form or fashion? Like, that's the biggest debacle in the foot fetish community. Is like, man, why do all these models get their pages deleted off Instagram and stuff like that? It really makes no sense. And then you got girls who are legit butt naked on Instagram, and they're a-okay as long as they know people within, the higher ups of
Right.
Instagram. Like it really actually makes no sense. I mean, it's all art at the end of the day. I like it all, but I mean, what do you think about all of that?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I actually made a couple posts last night and one of them got taken down. And, it was my butt, but I was fully clothed and it had my foot in it. And it just seemed like, why is this coming down when I've seen full blown pantyless photos like this last
Yep,
for years? And
for
it just
years.
like, it doesn't even make any sense. So it's like, okay, now my account's under review because of a clothed photo.
Yeah,
Awesome. I've had them take down pictures that were literally just my feet. And it's like I always go into review and I'm like, what is this? And they always seem to kind of bring it back, but it takes forever for the process. And it's just like all over what? Lucrative nude feet. Oh no.
I know.
Like,
I think maybe that's what it is. They don't like the fact that people are making money off of their platform and not sharing with them.
well, but then you have celebrities here who are, posting themselves completely nude. And it's like, yes, you're not seeing anything, but neither are you in my photos.
Right.
And yet that's okay. Like I think it was like Gwyneth Paltrow who for her birthday did a full nude shot and it was just like double
Right.
standard. Hello.
Yeah.
Why?
No, it makes no sense. I saw a chick literally post a porn one day on her stories, and her Instagram is still around. Like she was, it was boy girl action, on
Right?
her stories, and her Instagram's still there. So it really actually makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Clearly I just need to be more famous.
Man, well, I feel like you're on your way though. It looks like your
Aw.
following is pretty good on Instagram, and you interact with the people pretty well. I got a few messages prior to the podcast, and they were pretty excited to see that Haileys Comet was coming on. So shout out to that.
Yeah, it was actually a follower who told me about you, and
Oh,
I clicked on your stuff and I started like going through all of your little clips and all the people that you've had, and I'm just like, wow, I love this. This is awesome. And before I could even like message you, you were messaging me, and I was like, oh my gosh, gonna fangirl here for a minute because now I'm totally into all your stuff, and you contacted me first, and I was like, yeah, there was
I'll be
a
on
lot of fangirling.
I'll be on the gram like sliding into DMs like be on my podcast. What's up?
Hey, it works.
Yeah. Well, here's the good thing about all of the restrictions that are going on with YouTube is that you don't have to count on just YouTube now for the videos of this podcast. That was the announcement I wanted to make. These
Ooh.
videos, this actual podcast episode will be the first that you'll be able to watch on Spotify too. So
Ooh. There we go. Now I got something else to try.
yeah, so that's some exciting stuff because a lot of people go on Spotify. So, they go listen to the music, then they can come and watch Haileys Comet on Spotify, which is pretty fire in my opinion. That's next level stuff right there.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Or do we just get the echo?
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Oh my goodness. There's always some kind of technical difficulties. That's one of the things about flying people out to Vegas and making the in-person podcast happen. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
that looks like
everybody.
it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, don't worry, everybody. That's coming real soon. So we'll be making that happen. But carrying along now, so we got to talk about what got you into the whole foot fetish world.
I started on a few sexting sites, I guess it would be called.
Mm.
Um, and it seemed like I was getting repetitive purchases for feet content and people just going on and on about my feet. And I think it was finally the one day I was in the gas station and I was going for my Red Bull. And I noticed this guy looking at my feet while he was waiting to get, I think, into the washrooms there. And he caught me staring at him, staring at my feet. And he's just kind of like, I really like your nail polish. And I was like, thank you, 20-year-old something. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I had a friend who is big on foot fetish content, and she's actually not on anymore, but she inspired me to give it a go and tried a few shout out pages, and I seemed to blow up a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I like this. This is fun. We're gonna try this and trying new things with it, like the Giantess stuff. Oh, love it. It's so fun. I think
Is
I'm
that
getting a foot fetish now.
right? Right. No, I mean, I feel you on that. Like, I didn't even intend to do a foot fetish podcast. It just kind of happened. And so here I am. And now, I'm on the same boat as you. It didn't start off with me having a foot fetish, but, now that I'm so involved in it and, talking to so many people, I started understanding more and everything, because I think that's the biggest thing for people that don't understand is just that right there. They don't understand what it is and why guys might like that about the woman. But,
Right.
once you're exposed to it a little bit, I think you start kind of understanding, because it seems like taboo. Like imagine like you're trying to holler at a chick as a guy, and you tell her like within the first week of knowing her, oh, I have a foot fetish, like that's probably not going to happen, right?
For me, I think it would be like, yes, foot rubs.
Right. Foot rubs.
It seems like guys are so one or the other. They're either for feet or totally against feet. It doesn't ever seem like there's that in between window, which is really odd. So it's like, if a guy's like totally for it, I'm like, yes, give me all those foot rubs, please. Like, I'm all yours.
Yeah, I feel you on that. No, foot rubs are where it's at. I mean, they're actually necessary too, as far as the whole reflexology goes. It actually heals the body. So,
Right? Especially if you're an active person, to have somebody at the end of the day rub your feet.
yeah.
Love.
So you prefer for a guy to have a foot fetish if you're involved with the guy.
I'd much rather they have a foot fetish than be grossed out by feet, for sure. Like, I want to be able to be like rubbing my feet against them and, hinting and not be like, ew.
Right. I bet you any guy who doesn't have a foot fetish, he probably has disgusting feet himself, and therefore he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to be into feet, because if she ever asks to see mine, she's going to see that I have the Dumb and Dumber toes, and she's going to not be about that. So I don't know. That's my theory, anyways.
I'd love to test that theory, but it is definitely a turn off when a guy has really gross feet himself. Like, they need to be clipped and cleaned.
Right. So tell me, like, as far as your foot fetish goes, that you feel like you're developing or have, is it just for women, or do you think that it's for guys too, now that you mentioned what you just said?
Um, I think it's more so towards women because a man just doesn't have the dainty, soft, petite feet like women do. But at the same time, like I say, if they're long nailed, jagged, dirty, like not for it, but like if they have dry skin, whatever, they work a lot, that's fine. Just don't be like scraping up against me with your dagger nails in the middle of the night. That's
Yeah, that's definitely a no-go.
right.
Yeah, absolutely not. So I got to ask a question that I always get told that I don't ask, and I have to ask. What size are you?
Oh, I'm an eight.
Oh,
Unless
okay.
you're heels, then 8.5, just because you like to have that little room for swelling.
Are you a tall chick?
Am I tall?
Yeah.
I am 5'6".
Oh, 5'6". Okay. That's a good height.
Average.
There. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good height right there. Yeah, everybody gets so mad whenever I don't ask like certain specific questions. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know. I just get into a conversation and just start talking, and there it is. Well, I know one thing that you are into now that you mentioned to me not too long ago is that you've been doing a lot of working out lately. So
Yeah.
tell me about that. Like, what got you into that?
Actually, my best friend got me into that. She was really in this big fitness kick with this trainer out of Australia. And she has this amazing app where it's like these 8-week challenges and they do all your meal planning and everything too. So it's so dummy proof. Like all the workouts are made for you. They come with like little videos and written instructions. And I've just been doing those for about like a year now, and it's crazy. I went down like 4 pant sizes in like 1 year.
Hey, that's dope. Shout out to that. Congratulations.
Thank you. I
It's a
work
lot.
hard.
Yeah, it is a lot of hard work to be in the gym and be trying to get into shape and everything. It's not
Well,
easy.
especially if you have a busy life too, right? It's hard to find that time. And it's like some days I'll be in the gym at 5 in the morning.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll be in the gym at like 9:30 at night. But the point is like getting in there every day and making the time for it. Because otherwise, if you're not consistent, that's when you're not going to see change. And then you get discouraged and you don't want to do it, right?
Absolutely. I find that I have my best workouts when I absolutely do not feel like working out, and then I do it, and then afterwards it's like, damn, I'm so glad I did it.
Right? Or that pre-workout just like gets into your bloodstream and you're like, yes, I'm ready.
Right. Do you ever feel like you don't feel like making content on a certain day and then do it anyways?
Definitely. There are some days where I'm just like, I don't feel like doing it and I'm not going to do it. And then I feel really bad about not doing it. But the days where I do just go and do it, and that's where I actually had one of these the other day. It was like 5:30 at night, and I'm just like, I still haven't done this. I'm just going to throw on some makeup and get it done. And it was like probably about 11 p.m. by the time I finished. But I was like, I did it and I'm so proud of myself. And now I can have the best sleep ever.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that. And I think that's what it is. Like when you do like something and you don't feel like doing it at the time, that's when like the most rewarding results come. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's also when my sloppiest work comes out.
But I mean, like at the end of the day, you're getting the sloppy work out the way so that the next piece of work is even better, right?
A masterpiece.
A masterpiece. Yeah, see, I like
Yep.
that. How about a foot marshal, everybody? Man, shout out to Haileys Comet, everybody. I hope all of you, as soon as this episode is over, that you go follow her on Instagram. You see her Instagram handle right there. And then you got to click her link and go holler at all of her links. If you're listening to this on Apple, Spotify, or any of those audio podcasts, make sure you leave a review because it helps the podcast. Let me shout out to the live comments right quick. If you're in the live comments, drop some flames. Shout out Nelson, Oreo Dino Man, Scott Pilgrim, Ivan Aliberto, Music Tattoo, Monos KF, Max Musterman, Tyler, Hassam, William, DJ GOG, my guy, Tom Capu Sun. Shout out to all of you, man. You were ready for it that time. You're like, okay.
I was.
There's a lot of flame emojis in the comments right now. So like,
I
what?
see.
Oh, can you see the comments right now?
I can now. I was stuck in private chat before, and then I'm like, comments. Oh wait.
A lot of people do that. They go into the private chat and then they're like, oh wait, that's not where I'm supposed to be.
I think that's where it just set me at, and I was oblivious.
So which one of your like social sites do you favor mostly?
Definitely Instagram. I do have a Twitter and I do have a Reddit as well, but I find Twitter is kind of crazy. And Reddit, I was just stunned by.
Why?
How much girls show in Reddit was very surprising. Some of my favorite foot people, I saw a whole lot more of them than I expected.
Oh wow. Yeah. I bet. I bet. On Reddit though?
On Reddit. I was like, wow, I almost thought I was in their OF page or something because it was just so much skin.
Oh yeah, I bet. I should probably stay away from Reddit then. Cause I was thinking about getting on Reddit a little bit, but I don't know. I have a rule. I don't know if I've ever told any of my guests this, but I have a rule that I don't consume any of my guests' content at all. Like it's just it's a professional thing, you know what I mean? And I want to make sure that all the guests know that, they're in a safe place when they're on the podcast with me, and it's just all respect and love, and I want the people to get to know you all more than anything.
Well, that's awesome because yeah, there's definitely a lot to get lost in on there.
Yeah, totally. Like I have a lot of fans of the podcast that they want me to do things like play with the girls feed or smell the girls feed and do things like that, right? And like I get it, like that's what they like to do, and that's what they're into, and I might do that with my wife or something like that. But like as far as like the guests on the show, I'm gonna have a lot less guests if that's the expectation, you know what I mean?
Right? Then it just becomes almost like a free meetup that's then
Exactly.
videotaped too.
Exactly. And that's another funny thing, actually. I've actually reached out to a model or two before, and they thought that I was reaching out for a session. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, that's cool that people do that. And I know they do that. But I don't know if you like clicked on my profile and see what I'm doing here. And I actually say that I'm inviting you to the podcast, So I don't know. It's kind of funny to me that
Probably some of those girls with language barriers.
maybe it could be. But I think the ones that did it, they like, spoke English pretty clearly. Like I seen many videos of them speaking English clearly on the Instagram. So, but it's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
It's okay. It is what it is. Like, so for you, where do you feel like your fan base is located mostly? Do you know any of that kind of information?
Um, like on my OF, it kind of gives me an idea of the countries where they're paying from. And it's like
Mhm.
I get a little bit of Europe, a little bit of South America, a little bit of UK, but it's mostly US.
That's pretty cool. Mostly US. Maybe it's the US guys that are more into it than anything. But I noticed that there's definitely a lot of people from around the world that are all about the foot fetish life. And I'm like, okay, man, shout out to those people.
Right? I think there's pretty much just sexually active people all over the world.
Probably more than the US actually, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in other countries.
And that's where one of the sites that I'm on is actually kind of neat because it is worldwide for girls and guys. So sometimes you'll see like the most amazing women from like New Zealand, Australia, the UK, Ireland. And it's just like, it's so crazy to see it's all kind of in one place posting the same kind of stuff. But it's like even looking at their backgrounds, you can tell like from their houses or the way like even their staircases are for some of them. You can tell they're not from North America, and it's pretty neat to see the differences.
Tell me about that website. Which one is that?
So that's my girlfriend, and I've been on that one for about 2 years. It's I wouldn't Google it right now, to be honest. they've
Oh
had
no.
some they've had some issues, but it's just kind of nice that like a lot of the sites that I've seen, you're basically North America based, and this is one of those sites where they actually do open it up for everybody, and it's just the adversity. I had someone message me last night from Germany. And I was like feeling bad because it's like 11:30 at night and it's 8 in the morning for him. And I'm like, I'm just going to bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for real though. I gotta know, like, where do you see yourself going with this whole thing? Like, is there like a certain level you want to take it, or are you comfortable, where you are right now, as far as like where you are with all of the different websites and everything, and just kind of casually doing it as you do, or do you want to like make it like to where everybody knows who you are for this?
That's a hard one for me because it feels like it's constantly changing. I really didn't think I would get to even to this level. So
Mhm.
every time, another 5,000 people start following me, I'm kind of dumbfounded by, I'm like, wow, these people are here to see me. Like, this is interesting. Like, I like this. And then I'm like, okay, well, if I got to, like, I just hit 23,000 last night, and I'm like, I'm so close to 25. I want to
Yeah.
keep creeping. So it would be nice to kind of be like a known figure, but at the same time, I kind of like my privacy just a little bit. So I just want to continue to grow and make more friends online, but I don't want to be like walking down the street and people going, "Oh, there's Hailey."
Right, right, right. Do like your close friends and family know what you do?
Yep. My mom's first reaction was, "Do they want old women too?"
They do actually.
I did mention that to her, but she made it very clear she was joking.
Oh, I feel like sometimes people say things like that and then say they're joking, but really like actually be serious, you know?
I wonder because she definitely needs a hobby these days. I should just hook her up with a nice selfie stand and a timer, see what
Yeah.
she creates.
See, there's a lot of models in the world, but there's more of the fans consuming that art form than there is models. So I think that there's enough for everybody when it comes to that.
For sure. And that's where something that I've noticed with a lot of models doing this now for like almost 3 years. A lot of models are sitting there kind of competing with others when really you should more so be competing with yourself and just constantly making your own work better, because just because someone did an awesome set, you're not that person. You can't make it better than they are because you can't be them. So it's just constantly looking at your own work and figuring out how you could have done things better and improve. And I started off with just an iPhone, and then it's like you get a couple ring lights, you get some backdrops, you get some lights.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that goes for any art form. That's the same with me too when it comes to the podcast. Like if you look at the number one episode of this podcast, well, I was already doing podcasting, so it may not be that egregious, but if you look at the Cypher and Chronicles, my other podcast, and you go to episode number one, you could see that like like I didn't have like green screens and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that goes with any art form. You got to start somewhere.
Right? Your skills got to level up.
Yeah, yeah. And the level up is just going to happen naturally too, because you're going to want to be better.
Right? And that's where, like, I went from being confined to my room because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want people to see me doing this stuff. And now, like, during the spring and summer, you'll find that my Instagram is just constant outdoor content because I love being outdoors and I just don't even really care anymore who sees it. I'm walking around my complex here, like, taking selfies and, like, hi, neighbor.
Oh my goodness. So, like, what's a typical work week like for you? Like, do you go and book photo shoots with photographers or like any kind of photographer usually, or is it like usually you doing the photos?
Usually my content is self-made.
Nice.
But I actually did have my first boudoir shoot the end of January. Just felt like all my hard work that I've been doing in the gym and stuff, I just kind of want to rewarded myself with an actual professional shoot. And I wanted to see what kind of content I could get from someone else's artistic angle. And I actually ended up making a really good friend out of this photographer because I just straight up went in there being like, I'm super awkward. Just tell me where you want me and how you want me. And by the
Right.
way, I do foot modeling. So if you catch my feet, that would be a bonus for me, please.
You're like actually
And
focus on them a little bit.
right? And she fully delivered. Like I had so many photos of every kind of bit of me. It was great. Actually, it was so awesome that I did another one 2 weekends ago that I'm just waiting for the photos to actually come back from.
Nice, nice. So, like, would you describe your content as like a more tasteful version of the whole foot modeling thing? Like, as far as like no nudity or like, how would you describe it? What you do exactly?
So there was nudity for the first little bit when I started, but I had a
Mhm.
bad apple leak some of my contents.
Oh
And
man,
yeah, and it wouldn't have been so bad if my ex wasn't the first person to find it. So that's a whole nother story. But so I actually decided to go from nude to lewd for basically 18 months because he just irked me. Like I ended up finding out who it was. It was very obvious as to who it leaked it because it was actually like a custom that I had done.
Right.
um, but it was mostly kind of like lingerie, tasteful, giantess, lotioning. I do kind of like a segment which is like lingerie, lotion, and questions. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I'm in lingerie, I'm lotioning my feet, and I'm answering all the questions that I've received in like the last month from my fan base. And those are pretty popular on there. But in the last couple months, I have brought a bit of nudity back. I'm hoping that I can continue that way because it is fun to kind of just share yourself in that way, I guess.
Right.
Um, but only when it feels like a safe and secure place to do it. And knowing that that person is banned, I'm hoping my bad apple days are done and I can actually enjoy playing around with my fan base and chatting with them and going into that extra XXX genre again.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I mean, hopefully people aren't like so immature that they can't leave the past behind them, you know?
That's the
Yeah, like
story of my
you have
life.
no idea. That was always like my biggest fear as far as like filming like myself having sex or something like that in the past with exes and stuff like that. I'm like, man, if this like gets out and then like people see me, I mean, not that like I'm tripping that hard, but I don't know, like I don't think I would want family to see that I became like a porn star. I'm not against that though. Like that's cool. Like I shout out to all the porn stars in the world. But like for me, you know, like that's not really what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's the thing about my mom knowing that I do this.
Mhm.
Obviously, she's not looking for my content, and thank goodness she doesn't really do social media of any form. But it would be pretty devastating to hear that she saw one of my videos, even though she is 100% supportive of what I do.
Yeah.
I don't need my mom seeing my birthday suit at this part in my life.
You're like, no, no, you can't see me now.
No, but that's the thing is like my family is very small, so I'm not like super worried about it being like out there to them. And as it is, all of my friends who know me know what I do. And even some of them, I'll send pictures and be like, is this okay? Like, does this look okay or is this too much? Like
Right.
above your head kind of thing. No, it's not too much. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. And I'm not knocking anybody that does any kind of nudity out there on the net, by the way, you know. Obviously
No.
I support that, you know,
Yeah, it's just a personal preference. You don't want the world seeing your willy. We get it.
yeah, man, like I got some jokes about it, but I'm not gonna say them on here right now.
Save that for after.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't knock it. I actually I appreciate the hustle that, you know, a lot of the even the guests on this podcast have. Like it's phenomenal, honestly. Like all of the content that you all make, like that's a lot of fucking work that you gotta do, man. Like seriously.
Yeah, hours and hours of work.
It really truly is. So I don't knock anybody's hustle ever. When I see somebody on a corner of the street selling roses or something like that, like I'll go and buy a rose from them, you know, versus going and buying it from the grocery store because I'm like, damn, that guy's hustling right there. And one thing I never done in my life is knocked anybody's hustle. So, you know,
Oh, that's
shout
good.
out to all of you doing your thing. Shall we do another foot marshal?
Sure.
Oh shit. Young M says, respect to Daddy Goods and Gas from Manchester, UK. Oh, okay, we got the UK in the building? Okay. Yes, indeed. Respect every hustle. And if you all haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. I'm coming off a 2-week break. I'm just getting back started. I know if you weren't a fan of Haileys Comet, you are now. because I am now. I'm a fan of Haileys Comet now. My next show, I'm gonna have like a shirt with the Haileys Comet picture right here.
Hey, you wouldn't be the first.
Oh no, oh, you got merch?
I actually don't have merch, but I have sent like custom t-shirts to a few select people who are just amazing and I wanted to do something kind of special for.
That's pretty dope. You
Yeah,
ever you ever thought about turning any of your content into like NFTs or something like that?
it would be fun to do. I was actually just creeping somebody else's page and all their merch that they created, and I'm like, that's really cool. But at the same time, it's like, where would you put all that in the meantime?
Yeah, nah, I feel you on that, like for real. But NFTs though, that's like the way right there. You get some people to like invest into the digital, like into like exclusive photos of Haileys Comet, right? They invest in it, in that specific photo. It will be one of your fans only. I mean, other people could see it, but you understand how NFTs work, right?
You know what? I think this is actually the first time I'm hearing about that.
Okay. I'm glad this is the first time you're hearing about it, because now you're gonna look it up after this and it'll be an idea. See,
You mean you're
I'm
not going to
also,
educate me?
yeah, I mean, I'll try, but I know I'm gonna have people in the comments saying that I'm explaining it completely wrong. So NFT is a non-fungible token, right? And so it's a piece of art that is like the actual it's kind of like all right, so you know what art is. People buy art and they hang it on their wall, right? And you're like, all right, that's amazing. So it's like that, but only that person owns it, right? So now if you have an NFT, it's a digital piece of art, which could be either a picture, it could be whatever it is that you do. You can do um make photos, or you can make some kind of digital art, you can make music. But if you make it an NFT, you can now give others the permission and right to own that piece of art, but they have to buy the rights to that piece of art, and it can grow in value based on the popularity of it, and the popularity of pretty much however that piece of art like grows. I probably explained that terrible, but it's very fucking popular right now.
I think I understood, but I think it then comes back to you do know how hard it was for me to pick a picture to send you.
Was it really hard?
I am my own worst critic. Every photo, I feel like I'm tidbitting what I could have done better in them. So it's so hard for me to choose what I showcast or send somebody sometimes.
Yeah, I could have easily went on your IG and picked one, because you got so many. You got so many. I could just go do that. You're like, no, I got you. I got you. The perfect one. Are those ones not on your IG?
Actually, they're not. No,
Oh shit. Was that a POF pod exclusive for the thumbnail?
pretty much.
So I gotta ask, because I mentioned it during the footmercial. I mentioned how I was on a 2-week break, and that's something that I have not done since I started this podcast. Um, do you ever take breaks from making your content, like mental breaks?
So I actually do take Mondays and Fridays off every week. I have a busy life, so those days are completely off the plate. I usually leave my days for like content creation or customs being like Wednesdays or Sundays. That way, I'm not trying to scramble any other time of the day. I can kind of plan my errands and my life around other things. I don't make appointments for Wednesday because it's probably the quietest day of the week that I can get. But pretty much, I'm online almost every day except for Wednesdays and Fridays. I try to give myself just that little bit of a break, a little bit of a refresher, catch up on the stuff around the house that I've been ignoring.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you definitely got to do that. That's something that I noticed like over the last 2 weeks. I didn't feel like the urge to get straight back to work right away. I don't know why. It's just something that kind of happened naturally. And then like during that time, I was able to kind of like sit back and watch from afar. That's how it felt anyways. And it was like really good for me mentally, and it like made me want to just grind harder. And getting so many messages, people saying like, oh, I love the podcast, or I want to do a podcast like yours, just all of those things. Like, I'm like, damn, man. I think that one thing that I want to start, maybe like not necessarily like persuading people to do, the people that I know that work really hard, but man, like take some mental breaks to yourself and like, just collect, woosah a little bit, because that shit is fucking important.
Well, and that's where I used to do 7 days a week. When I first started, I was all in. Every day I was online. Every day I was responding to people. Every day I was trying to make something new, and I felt like I was getting so burnt out. And I would like leave my content creating space, and I'd look around at the rest of the house, and I'm like, crap. So I'm like, no, priorities. I need to focus on everything because I can get just so sucked into what I'm doing that it's like I lose a whole day.
I feel you on that. I feel you. Well, Hailey, is there anything that you would like to tell your fans before we get off the podcast today?
Probably just that I really appreciate everybody who comes in and follows me and supports me, likes, comments, all that stuff. It means a lot to me that a lot of you are still there from the beginning. I'm constantly growing and trying to make more, so I'm sorry if it's quiet for a little bit sometimes. It just means that I'm working on something amazing and you just need to be patient.
Man, you heard it from her first, everybody. And thank you once again, Hailey, for being on this podcast. It was an honor that you would be on this podcast. I was super excited when you said that you would be. So shout out to that right quick. And how about we take them out with a footmercial?
Sounds good.
All right, y'all. Make sure you all smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all next episode. Footmercial. Here we go. And Hailey, when I end the episode, don't go nowhere, okay?
Yes, sir.
Bad. All right. All the little people want you to step on them. There you go. And once again, everybody, make sure you follow Hailey at Hailz69. That's HAILHAILZ69 on Instagram and Twitter. I don't think she'll be on her Twitter though. And Plenty of Feet Pod all across social media. And you can watch this episode on Spotify like tomorrow. So making moves, everybody. And you can follow Daddy Goods too if you just want to see some of the goofiest reels of all time on Instagram. Yeah. And I think that's all, everybody. All right, Hailey, don't go nowhere. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Smash that like button, and we are out of here.